Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Rslash PettyRevenge. In today's episode, I took a present back from a rude kid's birthday party. Former classmate's sister treated me with classism. I paid it back decades later. The gas station and the petty peanuts. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. I took a present back from a rude kid's birthday party. 24F at the time of this story, I was about 9 years old. I had an across-the-street neighbors that was around my age. We lived in military housing and the parents regularly made the kids get together to keep friends because we moved around so much. Anyway, I was invited to a Barbie sleepover birthday party with 2 other girls. Sorry to mention race, but it's prevalent to the story, but I am mixed and the other girls were white. The day before the party we picked out a skip-it to gift to the birthday girl. The day of the party my mom got me packed for the sleepover and sent me across the street. The party itself went great. We had cake, danced to music, birthday girl opened her gifts, and loved the one I got her. Then we started to get settled to watch a movie. That's when things took a turn. I noticed the other girls laughing at me and whispering to each other. Then the birthday girl finally said, "Actually, your mom said you can't stay the night, because you are dirty, and need to go home to take a bath." Those words have stuck with me to this day. I was confused, but I believed her. I was 9, and it was her party. So I grabbed my things and walked back to my house. Naturally, my mom questioned me when I got home, and I told her what birthday girl said. My mom was not happy. We walked back over, informed the parents, and I took back the birthday present. My mom told me it was mine now. Me being a savage 9-year-old played outside with my brand new skip-it while birthday girl watched me from her upstairs window. Birthday party invite? Shoulda skipped it. Yeah, I'm guessing my parents wanted me to go. This comment is the very best thing of all. Good for your mom. I hope that someone learned something from that. Sadly, probably not. Well, I hope so. The girl was 9 after all. I love the way you triumphantly played with your skip-it in full view of her. One can only hope she was thinking if she wasn't so horrible, she could be playing with it, but privileged kids like that are rarely capable of that type of self-reflection. I know too well because whenever I was put into a middle-class foster family, their kids thought it was hilarious to point out I was poor, my clothes were out of fashion and never fit, and that I must have been unwanted because I grew up in children's homes. I often wonder if as adults, they realized how hurtful they were. Some of them did, others haven't. Kids are cruel, but their parents can teach them better. I don't think the parents of bullies do. I'm sorry you had to go through that. I have a niece-in-law who spent time in foster care, and I know it was hard. I really get comments that stick with you. My best friend's mom's boyfriend, when I was like 10, asked me how tall I was. I told him. He said standing up or laying down. While not something to say to a 10-year-old, sorry it was said to you. Sorry, I don't get what is being implied, standing up or laying down. I have a niece and 2 nephews who are half black, and I know they've been hurt this way. My heart aches for children and adults who have to suffer because of the cruelty of ignorant racists. I'm so sorry you had to go through this, but I'm glad you and your mom got some revenge. My nephew jokes that he's waiting for the day he gets to experience his white male privilege since he's half white. I love that kid. I'm wishing for the day too. Aw, your nephew does sound like a great kid. It's sad that even young kids still have to deal with this type of hurt. Sadly, this story wasn't the first time I had experienced cruel comments. My mom is Italian and my dad is black, so when I was a baby people would think my mom was babysitting me. I give so much respect and gratitude to my mom for defending me. Dirty comment was met with a dirty deed. Done dirt cheap. Props to your mom for taking back the gift. I used to have a skip-it. Really fun toy. This revenge is awesome, love it. Had to look up skip it. This story immediately brought back memories of crushing my ankles with that toy. Former classmate's sister treated me with classism. I paid it back decades later. IDK if this qualifies as petty revenge. I F30s grew up having all my needs met, except that my family wasn't high income or anything. My family wasn't big on mainstream stuff. For example, we were never keen on Disney World, or did exactly what others did. We didn't hate on anyone's tastes, but we were more kept to ourselves. I went to a slightly upper class school for the last leg of middle school. I had a boyfriend, but we broke up and I was sulking for a year. I'm sure I might have been depressed. My school boyfriend had a friend who happened to be his neighbor, Jack. Jack and I had a good friendship all through my time at that school. When we graduated, everyone went off with their families to their place of choice. Jack was such a good friend that I have lots of pictures with him. He called me regularly. So he called me that summer and asked where did I go with my family. I candidly answered that I asked my family to take me to a chicken joint. He immediately called his older sister, 22 at the time, and told her. They bullied me while I was still on the line. She called me a pig for celebrating at a chicken joint and said I had no class. Then corrected herself and said she bet I was poor. She said my parents could at least have taken me to a Pizza Hut. I didn't know celebrating at a chicken joint was tacky, but I surely found out. During the conversation, Jack called on her again to inform her that I used to be my school boyfriend's girlfriend. She mocked me again and laughed out loud. And said no wonder he dumped her. Jack and I attended the same high school. For a year, he picked on me with cruel jokes. One day, he told me to stop thinking about my ex, because he clearly didn't give a sh*t about me, and that was a laughing stock. I told him off, he didn't like it and stopped talking to me. I didn't care. He changed schools so I never heard from him until about 2010. He bore a grudge. Whatever. I ran into them a couple years ago. This back when Sears was still open. She was really angry and talking really loud, cashier line. She made phone calls like crazy. From what I gathered, she was either separating or getting a divorce. It was a huge spectacle. He kept asking her to keep it down. I walked past them, and he gave me a confused look and then smiled. I think he had a hard time recognizing me, or maybe he smiled as a reflex. I stopped, made small talk, and then asked her if she remembered me. She said yes, and I reminded her that I'm the pig who ate chicken after graduation. I refreshed her memory about the whole incident, and then very sweetly told her that I was aware she had been dumped. Then, with a very sweet but concerned tone, told her to love herself more because I was dumped for being poor, according to her, but maybe she was getting dumped for having no filter when treating people. She looked confused. I also told her to please try and get back with her husband because it didn't look like there were too many people out there who might be interested in putting up with her. I left immediately to avoid any kind of replies. Again, IDK if this belongs here. It is petty, not so sure about the revenge part though. It seems like she looked confused. She didn't remember the conversation or OP at all. Doesn't seem like revenge to me either. I think it's the part where the obnoxious girl gets publicly embarrassed. Jack and I had a great relationship through school. I have so many fun pictures of us. He bullied me straight for a year during high school. Which one is it? Sounds like you never had a friend at all. I read it as they were close at middle school, but he started bullying her at high school. Info: what part of this is the revenge? I'm guessing it's the public embarrassment. Safe to think the loud girl on the phone had already attracted ears and attention of the surrounding captive audience, people shopping nearby or waiting in line, cashiers working nearby, etc. Their ears would have perked up at the airing of dirty laundry by OP, especially since they'd likely already be annoyed by the loud, obnoxious girl, and would be mildly eager to hear her get wrecked. I left immediately to avoid any kind of replies. Why do people do this? Her point was made. I think it's priceless. What makes you think he bore a grudge? Seems like you're the only one who remembered the situation. The grudge he showed was previous to running into him in Sears. We have a small class reunion, and he was very sour with me. All because I told him off in high school. Would have loved it if you ended the confrontation by looking at him and laughing, saying no wonder he dumped her. LOL. I'm not that brilliant, but I would have rocked. I wonder if Jack had a thing for you. I was thinking the same thing. This is poorly written and also fake. Right, OP paid way too much attention to irrelevant details. The gas station and the petty peanuts. So to start, some background. I live in an area with a gas station that is basically a glorified convenience store. This convenience store has several good, some from the gas station itself, so it may be surprising to find out this gas station has a game to gain free things. This can include drinks, candy, chips, gas, slushes, and importantly, peanuts. This game is very much rigged and you would only win lower quality thing during the day. But if you play between the times of 5:30 to 6 a.m., the odds of winning go from low to certain. And playing with several phone numbers mean multiple prizes per day. Also, the cashier at this gas station is a guy who doesn't care if you are happy getting your things or pissed off. He only cares if he did the bare minimum requirements for what his job description tells him to do. So my friends and I would have coupons to scan, and if they didn't work the first time, he would say didn't work or something similar. Casting. Me. My dad. Cashier. So I was sitting at home, bored of doing nothing and not going anywhere. Then, I had the brilliant idea to go get free stuff at the local gas station, and felt that being a nice person wouldn't hurt anybody. I went up to my dad and asked if he would like some chips from the gas station. He asked why I'm asking. I replied with, because I have a BOGO chip, buy one get one, and wanted to get you something. I also had a boatload of stuff I wanted to get, but that isn't the point. He agreed and asked for ketchup chips. So after some prep, I left for the short walk to the gas station to get stuff for myself and my dad. When I arrived at the door, I saw two people coming towards the door, and in stereotypical Canadian fashion, waited for them to enter after I opened the door for them. So in this moment, I pulled out my phone to set up the coupons for my first wave of stuff. I grabbed 2 bags of ketchup chips and walked into the line, setting up my data and coupon for the cashier. He scanned them and I paid for the other chip bag. I left the counter and picked up 2 things, some watermelon soft candy, and some Old Dutch popcorn twists. This is important. I waited in line again, scanned the coupon for the candy. The discount line sorted on screen. I scanned the Old Dutch chips coupon, nothing. He said something to the extent of, guess it didn't work. Could you reset the screen so I can try again? I said. This guy had a blank expression as he said, sure. He reset the screen and I scanned the popcorn twists, then the coupon, nothing. I was trying to think up a reason on why the coupon didn't work, and how to fix the problem when the cashier said, you have to get other chips. I walked over to the chip rack in the back of the store and picked out some original chips, because my taste in chips is exquisite. I walked over to the cashier and scanned the original chips, then the coupon, nothing. The gears in my head started to turn when the guy piped up and said, no. Barbecue chips. Only barbecue chips. Now I am going to assume what was going on in this guy's head during this moment. This guy has a free chip coupon. I only remember barbecue chips working for this thing, So that must mean that all other Old Dutch products couldn't possibly work with this coupon. Guess I won't try to help him out with his preference because that is above my pay grade. I still intended to get a drink, but I also had several coupons for free peanuts. So a petty thought crept into my mind. Why don't you get all of your peanuts but in separate purchases? My inner self was grinning ear to ear. I went up to the counter with my fountain drink cup and a bag of peanuts, scanned both with coupons. Left the line, grabbed another bag of peanuts, went to the counter, scanned the coupon. Rinse and repeat. At the second last bag, he asked to see the coupon, and when he saw the timer at 4:54, it starts at 5 o'clock minutes, he agreed, and I left the line to get the last bag of peanuts. When I arrived at the line, he had me physically showing me starting the coupon to make sure I wasn't scamming the gas station. When I proved I wasn't scamming him, I left to fill my drink and ended it all with a thank you because I am Canadian at heart. In total, I used 9 coupons and only paid for about $2.25 worth of product. So in the end, I am listening to the Dead Cells OST munching on my barbecue chips wondering if people will see this and or Rslash will read this, but I am happy I finally posted something on Reddit that is my own. There are a lot of details in here, and I got a little lost. I got the gist of the story, but it was tough to wade through all the different details. But I gave you an upvote since it's your first story that's yours on Reddit. Yeah, like good on OP for trying to be petty at the cashier, but like you said, he only earns minimum wage and probably doesn't give a rat's as about you using coupons. If I was the cashier, I'd be wondering why you'd put so much effort into scanning peanuts and going up and down the store to use your coupon. LOL, your post reminds me of when I was a kid visiting my nan. She lived in a podunk town here in the Atlantic provinces, and around the corner from her house was a tiny general store. One summer, Coke had a special on their small bottles of pop. Think those tall, skinny bottles from the 60s to 70s with the tin caps you had to pry off. A bottle of pop cost 10 cents. Wow, I'm seriously dating myself here, haha. However, when you returned the empty bottle you got 10 cents. My cousins and I wheedled a quarter each out of our parents and ran to the store. 1 bottle of Coke please and 5 cents for a chocolate bar. Back to Nan's where we happily consumed our sugar rush. Then off we went to the store to return the empties and get some cream soda or lime crush. And penny candy. Rinse and repeat until our quarters were gone and we all had the belly ache. It was glorious, LOL. I think the operations order for the D-Day landings had less detail than this story. This was hard to follow, but your writing style is funny. The casting made me LOL. I knew you were a fellow Canuck by the 3rd paragraph. Good story. What are ketchup chips? Ketchup chips are a Canadian thing, don't worry. I feel dumber for having read this. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.